Good evening and welcome to our Facebook Live this evening. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are joining us live, hi and welcome. My name is Jenny McCormack and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the market town of Brackley, which is in the UK. So thank you for joining us this evening. If you're watching on catch up or on replay, whether that's here on Facebook or whether you catch me on YouTube, then if you have any queries or questions, then don't hesitate to message me, leave a comment, and I'll get back to you with any answers as necessary. So hi and welcome. Hi Katie, thanks for joining us. I hope you've had a good day today. And hi also to, oh, that was Katie saying hi, thank you. So this is the stamp set that we've been using so far, this week. Sorry, I try and keep it out of the light, so difficult, isn't it? So it's called Happy Holidays, as you can see, the main feature of which is this robin, but we also have this really pretty holly as well down here on the left hand side, and six nice sentiments, and also these little dots here. So the card that we made yesterday was created just by stamping with a black ink in this case. I used Memento, let it dry, and then I used some inks with watercolour. So I used our water painter here and just picked up the ink on a block to fill this in. Hi Brenda, I trust that you're well. Thanks for joining us live. So today I'm going to stamp the same image, and this time I'm going to use our blending pens to colour in. So these are our alcohol markers, and the alcohol markers allow you to do some colouring in and move the colour around and blend them together, hence the name. On here yesterday we used watercolour paper, and today we're just going to be using straightforward basic white cardstock. I have die cut a piece. Good Brenda, I have cut a piece. This is our thin basic white, and I'm hoping to fit the robin on here and a sentiment at the top if I can, and then I'm going to layer this maybe onto some designer series paper and then onto a card. We'll see how we go. So this is the plan. I've had a great card class this afternoon. We all had well, hopefully everybody had a good time this afternoon. So, oh, Cassie's joining us. Hi Cassie, I'm afraid your space has already been taken. Okay, so I have the robin here, and I have actually added the sticker on the back today. I hadn't done that yesterday. Hi Jeanette, thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this afternoon. You did a good job. It was a good fun class. I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to ink up the robin on our early espresso, and I really should have a spare piece of paper to hand. Let me grab some grid paper. I have unloaded the car, but I don't want to unload everything because I'll need it for class on Saturday. So I have unloaded it, but I don't want to unpack it, is what I should have said. Okay, so I'm just inking this up, and I'm just practicing on our grid paper just to see that I'm going to get a nice crisp image, which I am. That's perfect. So let's ink this up. And the grid paper that I use, you can actually buy. It comes in a pack of 100 sheets. It's really good for obviously protecting your surface, but also good to be working on because you can use it for the measurements. It's got inches on one side, and then on the reverse it's got centimeters. Okay, so let's pop this onto here. Hi Scott. I'm glad you popped on, Scott, because I need to message you to remember the two colours we were talking about after our change yesterday. So I know one was Night of Navy, and for the life of me, I can't remember the other colour we chose. Okay, so here is the robin. So I'm just going to have her, I think what I might do is have this over to the left, like so, and then just put a smaller sentiment maybe in, and then a larger sentiment on the inside. So just stamping that onto there. Cassie, don't do that, Donna. So there we go. So that's stamped in early espresso onto our die, which I've cut with our stitched labels dies. Hi Kate, I hope you're well. And I have got for you here, but I might just swap out that sentiment for another one, only because of the space that I've left myself, or rather the space that I haven't left myself. So I'm going to do my colouring in first, and then I'm going to add the sentiment after. That peculiar noise is Cassie scratching on the carpet, so I do apologise for that. So we're going to be using Blends pens today. So I've got some soft suede and some Crumb Cake. And this I wanted to make more orange. I really did think even after it dried, it was a little bit too red. So I'm going to use probably some pumpkin pie. I've got some light pumpkin pie here, and dark. And I'll just grab a piece of card that I can scribble onto, just to see what those look like. Okay. So I'm just going to start with some Crumb Cake over this back area, and I think it has a little bit more grey up here, so I'm actually going to introduce perhaps some Smoky Slate, possibly. I've got grey granite here as well, so a whole selection of colours. So this is light Crumb Cake that I'm going to start with. And I'm just going to put a piece of paper underneath. So just tidying this piece up, so it looks incredibly scrappy, but waste not, want not. Okay, and that's just to stop the ink going through onto my paper underneath. So glasses are off. So I hope you're well, Kate. Thanks for joining us. So actually I'm going to use a little bit of dark Crumb Cake to get us started up in this top area here where it's indicated, and along the back here. Just doing the definition of the feathers, and here, like so, and on this bit, like so. There we go. And just going to have a little bit darker underneath where these layers of feathers are. It's quite difficult, I think, for you to see, but there's like 2 layers of feathers there before we hit these darker ones. So I'm just going to, so this is dark Crumb Cake I've used there. Now I'm going to switch on to light Crumb Cake, just to blend that little bit in, and I might leave a little gap between these layers we'll have a look and see. Like so. And then bring some of this in. And I want a little bit of grey up here on the top. That's dark. I always start with light and work back if I need to. So a little bit of grey in there. And a little bit of grey onto there. Like so. And maybe a little bit here. There we go. Okay, so back to my light crumb cake. Like so. Can see that. There are some great examples of this bird being coloured in. So all you need to do is go to Google and type in Stampin Up, just 2 separate words. Don't worry about the apostrophes or anything. And then Happy Holidays, which is the name of the stamp set. And then you'll find lots of different ideas for colouring these in. Okay, just going to add a little bit of that light smoky slate again. Was it smoky slate or was it grey granite? Go, and then I'm just going to blend that into the next one, like so. So I use a circular motion when I want to blend the colours together, and then a feathering motion if I'm just coming in from one side. So there's the top of that. Okay, let's do the legs, which are quite dark, so I'm going to use dark crumb cake just for those, and also a dark smoky slate for the beak, like so. Can't believe it's Tuesday night already, goodness me. Right, so I've got smoky slate. So this is quite sort of two-tone. So just to compare, so this is my watercoloured version, so I really stuck with soft suede and crumb cake for that. And then this one I've got crumb cake and more of a grey in colour. Okay, and now I'm going to look at, just put those lids on, the rest of the robins. So I've got here light and dark pumpkin pie. So let's see. That's the light. This is the dark, which I think is quite a good set of colours. So I'm just going to use the dark around the front and the edges. So, like so. So bringing that in like that. And then I've got the lighter pumpkin to bring it around here. I need to do more studying of robins, I think. We do have some local ones here. It's often seen around in the garden. So this is just blending in against the Smoky Slate. Like so. You can see that all right. Let's put my glasses on. Okay. It's looking all right. Happy with that. So this is my light. This is a very old light pumpkin pie. This is my original pumpkin pie. From about 2018, I think it is, when we first introduced them. So I've added that grey layer. It's just softened that area underneath that wing a little bit, and I might add more into here. And here. So really with the blends pens you can do a quick colour in and then you can go back and add more detail if you wish. If that's not your cup of tea and not your style, then don't worry about going back in with the detail, just keep it fairly straightforward, or use our watercolours instead if you prefer. Okay, so I'm happy with that. It's much more realistic than my red breast here that I did on the watercolouring. Obviously it's the same shape, but I just got a little bit more detail in here with the blends pens. Okay, let's pop the lid on there. Whoops. So what I want to do is add a sentiment to this, and I also want to ground this little robin. So like so. So just using brush strokes from left to right. So it can either be on the ground or it could be on a log or a twig. Well, probably not a twig, let's be honest. Okay, right, let me grab some Christmas sentiments, which were somewhat lacking in my class this afternoon. For those that joined me will know. Right, let's have a look. You coming out, Cassie? You're a bit squashed in. Come on then. Right. Let's see what I've got to pop through on there. So I just want something small. So I've got cheers, sending love. I think these are too big. That Merry Christmas would probably fit, but I feel that it's a bit too big and squash in. Really I want something just to fit in there. So let me grab the stamp set we had this afternoon. Which was Peaceful Cabin, that's what we used. So I've got a nice For You, and then I could put a Christmas sentiment on the inside, I think would look nice. So this is For You. So I don't want anything that's going to overpower the little robin. And I'm going to stamp that, of course, in Early Espresso. I could stamp it in Pumpkin Pie, but I just want it to stand out on there. Let me just switch blocks. Okay, so just want to I had a feeling that was completely wonky. That's better, so it does go up a little bit. So I'm going to keep that straight onto there, and then just tilt it slightly down. Hopefully I'll get away with that For You. Okay. And now what I want to do is really mount that up onto some Christmas paper and then onto a card. So this is a bit of garden green. Actually that works quite nicely on that. Because of the orange, I don't want to choose a red and a green papers, which is what I thought originally I would do. So I originally had this one out. And apart from that, it's really busy. It's really pretty. It's red, green and Crumb Cake. I think this will make that stand out better. So I'm going to cut this to size. There we go. And then mount this possibly onto a white card or garden green. So this layer is going to be 10 centimeters. That's the reverse of it. That would also work, but there's a bit too much white for my liking. And this is going to be 14.35, like so. Let's have a look and see. And I'm going to raise this up on dimensionals as well. That definitely works. And then I think probably, let's have a look at some, yes, it definitely doesn't stand out enough for that. Grab a white card. Like so. Yes, I like that. So that will be the finished effect. So I'm just going to lay this one down. See what glue I have to hand. There's a little bit in there, not much. All that one. Let's see. Oh, that'll be enough. So a scribble of glue all the way over. Not too near the edges though. I don't want it to sort of leak out or anything. And there isn't really a right or wrong way with this paper, which is what makes it nice and easy to use. So there's that. And then my robin is going to go onto there. And I think I'm going to find some orangey sequins that will work with that. So popping some dimensions on the back. And then I'll just put a simple Christmas sentiment on the inside. So I've got 5 dimensionals there. And this one will work with it because it's the same sort of design. If you can see that. May you enjoy the peace of this beautiful season, which I think is a really nice sentiment. And you've also got little snowflakes here that you could add in if you wanted to. Let's pop this down. And the good thing about white card is you don't need to add an inner layer. You can just stamp straight onto that. So make sure that's opening the right way. Like so. Dig out my box of bling. Which is rather overflowing, but I'm pretty sure I've got some little orange sequins which I have here, which I think would just look nice on there, just for a change from anything else. Yeah, just bringing out the orange really. So just pick this one up here. We've got hair attached to it. So there's 1, 2, and I want to put it down there. 3. I've got them in a sort of line like that. So that's the outside, and then the inside I'm going to stamp "May enjoy the peace of this beautiful season." And I could add some holly or something, but I think I'm going to leave it as is. Stamp this in early espresso. So I'm preferring the blend pens only because of my choice of colour. I should have used more orange for the one I did yesterday. There we go. So that's our inside. Might actually use those dots as well. Why not? These dots here. Just take this one off. And then because this is quite a long thin stamp, I always let the stamp sit down and then put the block onto the stamp. I'm just going to try it out on my piece of paper. Yep. And I'm going to put this underneath there. Like that. Could actually do one on top as well. What do you think? Let's give it a go. There we are. So I just did it by eye, so it might not be 100% accurate, but it's quite a nice sort of finishing touch to that. So there we go. There's our robin using our blends pen. So I use pumpkin pie, light and dark, and then I use a little bit of smoky slate just to break up some of that colour, and then the rest was crumb cake, light and dark. And there we go. That's it for today. So I hope you like the design. So I've got 2 more sessions with this. So I've got 2 things to do. One is the no line watercolour technique. And then the other one is I want to use this really pretty holly. So I'm not quite sure which way round those will go, or whether I'll combine the 2. But that's it for today on Tuesday evening, if you're watching live. I'll be back again tomorrow. So UK time, Wednesday morning. Thank you, Brenda. We'll be here at 10 AM if you're able to join us live. Or obviously you can watch us on catch up afterwards for another in the series of some colouring techniques. So thank you so much for joining me. I did actually think for this one, while I've got my bling out, I'm going to pop some bling on here. So I've got these little tiny red things. Oh, hi Michelle, thank you. Thank you, Scott. So this is the design that we'll be using for our coffee and card this week, using the bird. And if you don't like birds, as I know a few people don't, then you'll be able to do the holly design instead. Okay, so panic not if you don't like birds. Let's put that one up there. There we go. So just added that little bit of red in there because there's quite a big area there to cover. So I've just added those in. A little bit of bling. I will make sure, Michelle, and there will be purple bling, although I can't quite see you using purple unless you layer this onto a purple card, but you never know. You never know. So thank you so much. Scott, if you would be so kind. I know one of the colours we discussed was Night of Navy or Pacific Point, but it's the other one I can't remember because you already have on order the Gorgeous Grape and and the other colour that you selected, which I really can't remember now. I do apologise. Anyway, ping me a message and we'll get that sorted for you. Okay, so there's a challenge there for you, Michelle. A robin with purple bling. So thank you very much for joining me this evening. I really appreciate your company. I hope you have a good evening with your loved ones, or if you're on your own, just take care, look after yourself. And we'll back again tomorrow. So have a good evening. Catch up with you soon. Do keep crafting. Thanks so much for watching this evening. Take care now. Bye for now.